The Ozarks, just like her sister range to the east, the Appalachians, is an old mountain range that is steeped in history, tradition and mysteries immemorial. Among these are stories or superstition, lore and fantastic and terrifying monsters and entities. One of these such entities is the creature that has come to be known as the Gowrow. The Gowrow is often referred to as a dragon by those who have taken an interest in the creature and often use it in modern games similar to Dungeons and Dragons. However, there is a great deal of debate to this day on what the Gowrow actually is or was. The creature that would come to be known as the Gowrow was first reported in the Arkansas Gazette on January 1, of 1897. The article was by Mr. Elbert Smithy, and an illustration was provided by Mr. Elbert Burris, which was reported to be based on an original photograph. A photograph that has never been seen and if it ever did exist, has long since vanished. The story goes that a Mr. William Miller, a Little Rock businessman, told Elbert Smithy about a fearsome monster called the Gowrow that had been roaming the countryside at night, slaughtering livestock and pets near Blanco in Calf Creek Township, in Searcy County. The creature had been named the Gowrow because that was the sound the creature made as it lurked through the mountainous forests in search of its prey items. It is then said that Miller gathered a posse and tracked the fearsome creature to its lair, a cave that was littered with the skeletal remains of its victims, some of which appeared to be human. The posse then waited for the creature to appear, and soon it did from a nearby lake. It was said that the creature made the earth tremble as it tromped toward the posse that was waiting near the mouth of the monster's lair. After the posse was able to fire several volleys of gunfire at the loathsome creature, they were able to bring it down, but not before it tore off one of the posse members' legs and uprooted several trees in the immediate area. A later examination of the creature placed it at being nearly 20 feet long, with 2 large tusks in its gaping maw, a row of horns down its back and a long thin tail that terminated in a blade-like appendage. The creature was said to have large, webbed feet with claws. Williams then claimed to have sent the corpse to the Smithsonian, but there was never any record of that being the case. However, there is a theory that the Smithsonian has been hiding various forms of evidence all along. But that is a different story. Vance Randolph, a collector of Ozark folklore, claimed to have additional information on the Gowrow from an event that was reported in 1880, in Boone County, where the creature was said to lay eggs the size of beer barrels and that the adult carried its young in a pouch, much like that of the opossum. This was supposedly reported by a spelunker who had encountered one of the creatures in a cave known as Devil's Hole. There was also a man named E.J. Rhodes, who claimed that he had first heard a commotion inside the cave but was unable to see anything. After that, he lowered a flat iron down into the cave on a rope, but the monstrous beast bit through the rope. He also told the story of a man in Mena, Polk County, who claimed to have captured a Gowrow after feeding it so many dried apple pies that the creature was unable to burrow and escape. Like any good con man would do, the man had the creature on display, and would stumble from behind a curtain after a commotion, with his clothing tattered and torn, announcing to the crowd that the Gowrow had escaped and that they should run for their lives. The identity of the Gowrow has never been identified and most likely never will. As a matter of fact, more likely than not, the creature never existed in the first place and was a tall tale of the area, or the creation of Mr. Miller himself, hoping to collect on the story or make a name for himself. It should be noted that this creature known as the Gowrow has a great deal in common with the Hodag of Wisconsin lore and that of the Bunyip reported to live in Australia. Like many of these creatures, including the Jersey Devil and even the Ozarks' own Howler, these mysterious beasts of lore appear to be chimeras, made up of several descriptive attributes of various creatures, only in such a way as to make them terrifying and monstrous, fulfilling our need for there to be things that go bump in the night or help to keep wandering and mischievous children from straying too far from home. However, one has to wonder if there could have been something to these tales of monstrous beasts. Could these be some of the denizens of the deep caves that make their way to the surface every so often? Or maybe, just maybe they are from deeper down than that, and have made their way from the hollow earth? Either way, the Gowrow will forever live as one of the monstrous beings that exist in the folklore of the Ozarks. So, if you ever find yourself in the mountainous forests of the Ozarks, be careful when you find yourself near a cave or hear the cry of the Gowrow in the still of the night. You never know what you might encounter.